So we're just going to start off with priming our eyes. This is my NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. So now I'm going to take my foundation of choice today, which is going to be my Maybelline Matte and Poreless Foundation. I'm actually going to be mixing 2 foundations today, but to put on my eyelids, I'm going to just use the Maybelline one. So let's open it. I'm going to take my Morphe M224 brush and just grab a little bit. So I'm going to put some in the inner corners. Just like that. You really don't need too much. So now I'm going to set the foundation and the eye primer with my Luxie 223 large fluff brush, and this is my number 7 translucent powder. I'm going to take really little, and I'm going to set everywhere besides my lid, just so it can still be tacky when I apply my lid shade. The eyeshadow palette I'm using today is going to be the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I know mine's a little dirty, so don't mind it. I was swatching them, so my whole palette is like kind of jacked up, but this is a really good palette regardless. As for this palette, they have 2 existing shades in here, which is Full Zip and Note to Self, which is part of their permanent line, and I enjoy those 2 shadows by itself. I've used them multiple times in my videos already. But other than that, all these shades in this palette, besides those 2, are limited edition. I believe this whole palette is limited edition. And they did say that they will restock this palette on July 7th. So I would set your alarms if you want to get this palette, because I knew it sold out in seconds when they launched it. So set your alarms, July 7th, 10 a.m. PST. And let's get started, shall we? So first, I'm not going to say the names of these just because they are, because it says that it like flips, so this right here is, and the back says Full Zip, so it's obviously Full Zip is the lighter color, I know that for a fact. It's just flipped, and I don't want it to get confusing because I'm going to confuse myself if I like refer to this, so I'm just going to show you which ones, and then this palette is pretty self-explanatory and you'll be able to see because there's not that many eyeshadows in here, so we'll be fine. So I'm going to take my Morphe M511 brush, and I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to apply it into my crease, just use it as a transition color. This is my Morphe M511, if I didn't say so already. Just use a really light hand because you can always build up. And I know many of you are big ColourPop fans, just like I am, so I really wanted to do a video on this, comparing the Natasha Denona Sunset Palette to just like swatches and my thoughts on it, because it's a big price difference. And you guys know I love ColourPop as much as any other person because I film ColourPop tutorials all the time, not like intentional, but like I just love their products and own a lot of them, so it's just nice to, you know, have a cheaper alternative that still is great quality and you trust the brand. This blends out really nicely and I really like it right now. This is just like 2 layers of the shade, and if you want to build it up, you could we might possibly build it up later on, but we shall see because I'm not sure what I want to do, but this is such a pretty palette, I couldn't pass it up. And it's only $16 too. Obviously the pans are a little smaller because you get more shadows, but it's so good. Like you can't not get it. And then the next shade we're going to take is going to be this red one right here. It's like a reddish orange with more red undertones. Second row, 3rd shadow, and I'm going to take the same brush. I'm just going to take a very little bit. I'm going to focus that in the outer corners. I'm just going to first pat it and then just swiping it inwards. Ooh, that's a really pretty color. Ooh, that's pretty. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, like, this just inspires me to do like sunset eyes, you know, but I do have a tutorial, like doing a sunset eye tutorial, so And then I want to take this Morphe R38. This is like one of my favorite brushes from them. I love that it's like really like goes up to like a point kind of, and it just goes in where you want it to. I'm just using matte colors as of right now, so I'm going to take this darkest color right here, last row, last shade, or last row, fourth shade, and I'm just going to apply that on top of that reddish shade that we were using. So I'm just going to like tap it on first and then just blend it in, just like what I did with the red shade. And we'll like start blending it into the crease and everything. So I want to get this darker brown shade like where my lash line is. So I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is my Morphe M508. I usually use this brush to like smoke out my lower lash line. So I'm going to use this to just have a closer application. So I just applied it into the outer corners, and I'm just going to use my brush to blend it out. I'm going to take a clean brush. This is the Morphe M504, and I'm just going to blend out what I have so far. Just want to make sure everything looks like seamless. I just like to move back sometimes for my mirror just to see that everything looks okay. So if you see me in like clips where I'm like moving back, that's why. So we're just going to do the same thing with the other eye. Basically just essentially patting the shade in and then blending out. Taking a little bit more, smudging the shade on the lower lash line. And now I want to take the Morphe M505. It's like a smaller version of the M504, obviously. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to go to the first row and I'm going to mix these two shades right here, right in the middle. So this orangey color and then this light peachy color. Tap off the excess. I'm going to blend it on top of the shades that we have now, just to... That was my copy, and I'm just going to make everything blend in. I'm just taking a little bit of both. And then going back with my Morphe M511, taking that first orangey shade that we used to put a little bit transition color, I'm just going to reapply that. And then a little bit of that second red shade. And obviously blend. You can never blend too much, especially with like a smoky eye. So now I'm going to apply the lid shade. I'm just going to apply a shimmery shade. This is going to be from the first row in the very last color right here. It's like a very light maroony with red undertone color, and it's shimmery too. So it's like a red brown with red brown. Okay, it's like just like it's a coppery color is what I'm trying to say. And this is the Urban Decay shadow brush. It's gonna apply easy. I'm gonna apply this first without any like fixing spray, and then we'll see how it applies. I'm sure it's gonna apply fabulously because all of ColourPop's shimmery shadows are just amazing. That's really gorgeous. Yeah, it's like a very pretty coppery shade. So I'm going to intensify this with some fixing spray. This is the Too Faced Hangover Art. That is gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to blend it out. I'm going to take my small Luxie 231 tapered blending. And now we're going to do the same to the other eye. These shadows are so beautiful and they're blending out really nicely. They feel like just a regular ColourPop pressed shadows, but like I don't see any patchiness or anything. Go back with my Morphe R30 in that dark brown shade with like a red undertone. I'm just going to deepen my outer corners again. And then I'm going to blend. This is still my clean Morphe M504. So So I've done the rest of my face makeup besides my highlighter because I did also get the ColourPop Gimme More highlighting palette, which I'll show you guys on camera in a bit. I will list everything that I'm wearing on my face down below like I always have. So I'm going to finish up with the eyes first. I'm first going to take this darker brownish red color and smoke that out underneath on my lower lash line. This is the Morphe M508. I use this to pack on that dark color. Make sure you blend the shadow in so it just blends in. So this is the dark brownish red smoked in. I'm going to take a pencil brush. This is the Morphe E36. I'm going to blend it out first. Brush. This is the 229. I'm going to take, what is this? Note to Self right here. And I'm going to use that to blend in the brown color. This just blends everything and makes it more like seamless and no harsh lines. And now I'm going to add a highlighter. This I'm going to use my, I'm not sure what brush I want to use. I'm going to use this Luxie 217 pencil brush, and I'm going to take this very goldeny shimmery gold color. This is the second row, second color. And I'm going to apply that in the inner corners for just a pop of highlight. Ooh, that's really pretty. And this is not even with like a Fix Plus or anything, so imagine it like even being more metallic if you spray something on it. I'm going to take this 231 that I used to highlight. I'm just going to blend this in so it just blends in. It doesn't look like too glittery. That is so pretty. And I'm going to take just like a flat, I'm going to take this brush right here. It's my Luxie 207 medium angled brush, and I'm going to go back with my Yes Please palette, taking Full Zip. I'm just going to highlight my brow bone with it. Since it's angled, it's going to be really like easy to get in there. I love my Luxie brushes, they're so good. And this just further blends everything out. It's like a matte skin tone shade as well, so fabulous. So I'm going to finish everything up and then I'll be right back. So I am back and I applied my brow gel and everything, so now I'm going to set my face. This is my Too Faced Hangover RX. I've been loving this lately. It's been really good. Okay, and then the highlighter I'm going to be using today is from the ColourPop Cosmetics Gimme More Pressed Powder Highlighting Palette that they just came out with. I don't think they're going to be restocking this one. They're only going to be restocking the Yes Please palette. So I hope you guys got your hands on this because it's amazing. I think I'm going to use one of them as a blush topper. The blush I used today was the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in Quarters. It's a really pretty color just because it has like some like orangey gold, like peachy shimmer to it. It doesn't like show on the cheek, but it's like a sheen, and it's really pretty because it goes with the eyes and everything. But I might use maybe this color. Where is it? This color right here called Total Package, or this one right here called Extra, if I'm correct. I'm not quite, or maybe this is called Bottomless. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll mix the two, but I want to use those as blush toppers. And then for the highlight today, I'm just going to use this one right here called Bigger and Better, just because it's more warmer. I do like this one right here, but I feel like it might be too bright and cool toned for my really warm eye. Maybe I'll use it. We'll see. So my setting spray is almost dried, and we're going to use that to highlight now, just to make the highlighter more bam in your face. So this is my Anastasia A23, and I'm taking this highlighter right here. Oh, that's gorgeous. I saw swatches of these and I was just like, I gotta get it. This is, okay, sorry my phone. Saudi said I'm gonna have to wait for a reply. Look how gorgeous this is. It's reflecting really hard on camera right now, so. Guys, that is gorgeous. I'm gonna apply some on top of the brows. Okay, this is fabulous. So I'm going to take a brush. Let's see which one I want to take. I think I'm going to go with this Morphe M530, and I'm going to take this one right here, this bright orange one. I'm just going to tap a little bit of it. I'm going to apply it onto my cheeks. Just for like a little shimmer, because I don't want my face obviously to be too shimmery. That's gorgeous. Just like a little orange tint. And now I'm going to apply highlighter to the high points. Sorry, to the high points of my face. I'm going to take these two. I'm going to mix these two middle highlighters together. This is the Luxie 231. This is so pretty, you guys. I'm literally obsessed with this right now. This is gorgeous. I look like I'm a pinhead right now. That is gorgeous, and I'm in love. So now I'm going to apply the lips, which I don't know what kind of lip I want. This is the final look of me using the ColourPop's Yes Please Pressed Powder Palette, and I have to say I am really impressed by this palette. I do also own the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. I waited about 2 restocks until I actually picked this palette up because Natasha Denona palettes are expensive. I believe this was about $129, and you get 15 shadows if I'm correct. 15, and then you get 12 in the ColourPop palette, so you get 3 less shades in this palette, and this is $16. And like I said, Natasha Denona palettes are quite pricey, but they do have that special formula that she puts in her eyeshadows. I'm not quite familiar with her brand, but I have watched quite a few videos of her eyeshadows, and I believe she does have that special formula, and that's why they are the price that they are. But they are very, very amazing. I haven't done a video on this palette yet just because I've still been like testing it out and like wearing it, but putting these palettes side to side, there is quite a resemblance. This palette is like not exact dupe, but it is similar to this palette. Similar. Obviously ColourPop is a lot cheaper, and they don't have that special formula that Natasha Denona has. I've seen quite a bit of the Natasha Denona palettes before, and I've wanted to pick every single one of them up, and I've swatched them in Sephora before, and I waited because most of the palettes that I've seen from hers, like the large palettes, aren't quite wearable and aren't like everyday type shadows, at least for me. So I didn't want to pick up a really expensive eyeshadow palette and not have a use for them and not be able to wear them for a while. And when I saw them post a sneak peek of the Sunset palette, I was like, I have to have it, but I couldn't get myself to pay that $129 or however much it is. It's about $129, $160 I believe, with tax and everything. So I waited for like 2 restocks of this and then decided to purchase it because I was like, I'm gonna do it. These shades are totally me, and I can get a lot of use out of these shades and wear them and mismatch them and everything. And I'm glad I got this palette because it's like a foot into trying other Natasha Denona palettes, because I am really interested in her brand, and I like know that all her stuff that she puts out is very high quality, so I'm excited to try other stuff from her brand. But I have to say, these eyeshadows are amazing. They're very smooth, very buttery, very easy to blend. Like, it's just a dream. So if you have this palette, I'm sure you love it as much as I do, but obviously everyone has different opinions. I personally really do like this palette, and I will try other Natasha Denona palettes because this palette has my heart. I love it. I just love warm tones, and I love wearing gold and like shimmery shades on my lids, so this palette is me. And you can really create like different types of smoky eyes and like eye looks with this. It's just incredible. And as for the ColourPop Yes Please, I would also recommend this palette. Obviously, if you have the Sunset palette, you don't need the ColourPop Yes Please palette. Or if you have this, you don't need the Sunset palette from Natasha Denona because you don't need two. Obviously, I love shades like these because I got this palette, but this palette was such a good deal and I couldn't pass it up. It's $16 for 12 shades, and obviously the pans are a little smaller than their regular pressed shades, but you do get more shadows in this palette. And they are restocking this one last time on July 7th, 10 a.m. PST. So I'd recommend getting your hands on this if you really want to try this palette, or get a backup if you have this palette and you love it, because this is the last time they're going to bring it back. But who knows if they're going to bring it back again. We don't know for sure. So I would say get your hands on this if you can. July 7th, 10 a.m. PST. Set that in your calendars, set an alarm. You're going to need this because it's going to go fast. I know the first time that they launched, I had to like rush because I knew that a lot of people were going to get their hands on this because this looked dead on like the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. So I wanted to make a video, and it's quite amazing. Obviously, ColourPop doesn't have Natasha Denona's special formula, but these shades are nonetheless still beautiful, still buttery, still blendable, and it is personal preference if you want to spend $16 or if you want to spend $129. Everyone's different. If you don't feel comfortable dishing out that much money, then go with the ColourPop one. I know I have a lot of people who love ColourPop on here that watch my videos, love ColourPop as much as I do, and they look forward to videos where I include ColourPop items. I've seen some of you comment on there for me to make more videos using ColourPop items like I use ColourPop a lot in my videos already, so it's nice to know that people enjoy it when I have ColourPop items in there because they're such a great brand, they're such great quality, and it's good for the low prices that you're getting. So this palette is quite amazing and I really do enjoy it. Obviously, some colors are different from here. Like I said, the ColourPop one has 3 less shades than the Natasha Denona one. Well, the Natasha Denona one has that white shimmery shade, which ColourPop doesn't. And then ColourPop has this matte skin tone shade, and Natasha Denona Sunset palette doesn't have that. So it's like different. There's a few differences in this palette, and obviously the biggest difference is the price itself. And like I said, this palette is great if you're balling on a budget and you want to save money, and you can get a lot of bang out of your buck with this. And these shadows are amazing. I've said many times before, which I'm sure most of the people who view my videos are tired of, that ColourPop shadows are amazing. I literally buy all of them that come out when they're on sale. They're on sale for $4 right now, I believe. But it's amazing. Get your hands on this. I recommend it 110%, so love it. And then I did also get their highlighting palette. This is their very first pressed highlighting palette, I believe. It comes with 6 shades, and it looks like this. And obviously I can't totally wear all of these powders as highlighting shades because I am very pale. Even when I am tan, I'm not like deep tan, I'm just like a little bit tan, if that makes sense. So like I said, I can't use all of these as highlighting shades, but I can use like this color. If you've seen in my video, I use this as a blush topper, and I can get away with using this as a blush topper and probably this as a blush topper as well. And these other 3 shades I can use as a regular highlighter. I did use this one right here as a highlighter on my cheekbones today, and it's amazing. ColourPop pressed powders truly are amazing. I have their pressed duos and I love that. Their Super Shock Cheeks are amazing as well. I'm wearing Quaters Super Shock Cheek, and then on top I put, I believe this is called Bottomless, on top of the blush. It's great. I love this look. It gives me that pretty gold sheen, but it's not too shimmery because I only deposited really little. I used the Morphe M530 because I didn't want like a bunch of glitter on my cheek, and because I have like a little texture right now, so I don't want to emphasize the texture. This palette is truly, and that is my mini review and like demo and like comparison. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and follow me on my Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you in my next one.